Hey guys, welcome to the iBallin with Snow podcast. You guys know what this is. This is a two-part podcast. Part one is iBallin with Snow, where passion meets purpose. Check that. Nope, that's not what we're doing. So nervous, always so nervous.
Well, you are building a lot.
Right?
This studio is so professional,
Yeah.
and you are so professional that it's making me
Okay.
nervous too. Even though you're always creating such a nice and comfortable atmosphere,
I know,
feel
right?
the studio is
It's
like
crazy.
like a national TV. I'm telling you.
Okay.
And I'm learning as Snow is doing this intro. I'm learning what's ahead of me because I have no clue.
Wonderful. Okay, so I guess I should prep you for this. Here's a little bit of prep. We're doing my podcast. It's a two-part podcast. Part one is Play Locally, Win Globally, our hashtag. That's where we talk about everything eyeballing related. But if we're lucky, I get to have someone in the studio, and we do part two, where passion meets purpose. And then I do the introduction of you, and then we're going to pan to you for the introduction, and then we're going to get started. Okay?
Amazing.
So it's going to be about probably 3 to 5 minutes where you just sit there, look beautiful.
Easy.
Okay.
That I can do. I hope.
So I'm going to do this again. That was the first take. It didn't work out very well. We're going for the second take. In 3, 2, 1. Hey guys, welcome back to the iBallin with Snow podcast. You know, it's a two-part podcast. Part one is our motto, Play Locally, Win Globally. That's where we talk about everything under the sun that's eyeballing related. And we have a few things in store for you today with regards to that. But also, iBallin with Snow Part 2, that is that's where profession meets purpose. That's where passion meets purpose. We're going to edit that in a minute. But we're also doing iBallin with Snow Part 2, where passion meets purpose. If we're lucky, we get to have someone in the studio as a guest. And today, it is that day. I'm going to come back to you. See, I'm rushing already. I'm getting nervous. I'm super excited. We're going to come back to part two in a minute. But iBallin with Snow Part 1, Play Locally, Win Globally. You guys know what we're doing. We have our contest still going on. It is the iBallin Around the World Challenge, our online shooting contest, where you get a chance to win a trip to an NBA game. It's super exciting. It's kind of a big deal. I want to ask my intern to bring those headphones back up here so I can hear. But it's a big deal because you, as a contestant playing online, have the opportunity to win amazing prizes. But like I said, that trip to the NBA. And my intern was listening, but he's not acting. I want those headphones to come right back up here on this counter. But also, we have our campaign going on right now where we are registering the team owners, aka sponsors. A sponsor is just a community leader, a coach, a parent who want to do something great for their children or great for their community by sponsoring a team of 5 players for a chance for one of those players to compete on a global scale and win the trip. There's also some good prizes in store for the team owners as well, but you're not doing it for that reason. You're doing it as a way to give back to your community. And so right now we're on target to hit 350 team owners, sponsors registered for their chance to give back to the community. We are going to drop players onto your team. It sounds complicated, but whenever someone says to you, would you ever want to own a global basketball team? Whether or not you know about basketball or not, it sounds big. It sounds exciting. It sounds like you can't do it. Hear me out. Guys, we have regular people just like you from around the world. They're hearing this message. They're hitting that QR code and they're registering sight unseen. They're paying, I think, 25 USD, 125 ringgit, and they're registering their own team, their own brand, or their own city. And we are making an announcement around the world that team so-and-so, I'll give you an example. There's a team owner out of the UK. His name is Andy. And he sponsored a team called, what was the team? Something Minds. Oh God, I got to come back to it. I'm so sorry. He sponsored a team also called Apex Living. So Apex Living registered, and we are making an announcement around the world. The next 5 players to raise their hand to play on Apex Living team, we're going to draft you onto that team and work with you to tell you what you need to do to win a trip to Malaysia or a trip to an NBA game, all courtesy of Apex Living. Just because he clicked that QR code, he registered his team, just giving back to the global community, and you can do that just as well. So that is what we have going on for the iBallin Around the World Challenge. I made an announcement earlier that we were going to send up some 3-on-3 teams up to Penang's tournament at the beginning of the first weekend of November. That tournament has been postponed because of elections that's going on up there. So the tournament is not going to happen now. It's going to happen next, I think, March. But we have something in store for you coming up. And once I have it finalized, I'll make the announcement here because it's something huge that is happening at the end of November. So stay tuned to that. Now, for what we've been waiting for, we have in a studio guest today. I'm going to get my notes out so that I can introduce her properly. It is absolutely amazing at what we got going on today. In the studio today is a wonderful podcaster. And because I'm nervous, because I'm timid, and I'm trying something different, I brought someone special in to do her introduction. So please, Sabrina, please help me introduce Agatha to our podcast.
Absolutely, Snow. I'd be happy to jump in and help out. All right, everyone. Today we have a fantastic guest joining us in the studio. She's a vibrant and adventurous podcaster who's exploring Kuala Lumpur through food, face, and culture. So let's give a warm welcome to Agata. Thanks for letting me do the honors.
Thanks, Sabrina.
Hey guys, I cannot express enough how excited I am to have this lady on the show. She is absolutely one of my favorite podcasting hosts to watch on YouTube. She has amazing content, and she is absolutely incredible at crafting questions and things of that nature. In fact, I have another thing in store for her today because you saw when the lead up, we did a quick interview in the car on the way over here. And we have this session here at the Ops, the Oracle Podcast Studio, as you know. And we have one more thing in store for you just as well, because she's been so gracious with her time. She's so busy, and we're going to get into all of that. But she was so gracious with her time, giving me a couple of hours. I wanted to maximize and squeeze out every piece that we have. So Agatha, welcome to the program.
Oh, thank you so much. I'm really excited. And yeah, I was looking forward to it for a long time since we've met first time and we spoke about it. So I'm really glad that the day has finally arrived. And I'm excited what you've got in store for today.
Yeah.
I hope I'm not going to be like competing. Just for the record, my passion is eating. That I can compete.
You can compete in eating.
Yeah.
Yes, I've watched you do that on your programs, which is actually fantastic. But as a foodie myself, and you guys know I try to create that food content, but I'm really terrible at it because I only focus on makan in the food, and I lose track about taking the shots and the angles, and my video work is terrible. But you guys know, you know what? For my audience that don't know who this lady is, Agata is from Poland, residing here in KL. But she, amongst a bunch of other things, we're going to get into it. She is a content creator and a podcast host, and she hosts a platform called Aga Eats KL. Is that correct? I'm gonna put it here somewhere and also in the description. Aga Eats KL.
Macam Aga Makan KL.
So she's gonna do that the whole time in this interview, which is perfectly acceptable, and do it as you see fit. You need it, but you can blame me as much as you want for being here for so long, then I can't possibly spit as much Bahasa Melayu as Agata. But it's okay. It's one thing I'm working on. Agata, let me get to just a couple questions. Before I get to the questions, let me just tell the guys how I know you. Do you remember how we met?
I know we were introduced to each other through our common friend who was really speaking very highly of you and really wanting us to meet and chat. Do you remember other story?
That's exactly it. Mutual friend of
Shout
ours.
out to Mauri.
Yeah, Mari. Yeah, Professor Maurizio Rossini, a very good friend of mine. We started our entrepreneurship journey kind of similar. We're at similar stages of our entrepreneurship journey. When he had the calling, I have a calling for the iBallin brand. I'm passionate about that, and whatever happened, it triggered something in me, and I couldn't stop doing it. And when I first met Mari, and I shared that I have this passion, this drawing, he shared with me he has the same thing for men's mental health. I said, "Wow, Mari, that is a tall order. I commend you, but listen, as men, you know how that is almost an impossible task, because to get men to open up, be vulnerable, and share what they're going through for in terms of mental health, it is a tough call." Yeah. And even on your show, that's how, guys, that's how we met. She interviewed Mari on her show. Interviewed Mari on her show, and then on after the show, he suggested that I'd be a guest on your show just as well.
Yeah, it might have even been before we got into the show. So I met Mauri and can't even remember how I met Mauri. I must have been introduced to him as well. Mm-hmm. And then, he was saying that he knows this fantastic guy and that we should connect as well and you should come on my show. And I can't remember the sequence exactly, but let's say everything was happening in parallel. But yeah, he definitely mentioned about you and suggested that we meet and that you come on the show.
Right. It's a very small circle, because also I think that, I'm not sure in what order it would have been. I remember now another friend of mine that you interviewed, Alex.
So Alex introduced me to Mauri.
Yes.
Alex, shout out to Alex.
Yeah. Alex is a very good friend of mine. In fact, Alex became the very first sponsor of the iBallin Around the World Challenge Grand Finals contest. So he registered his own team under his name, Team Alexandria Torrey Cole. Team Alex has a team registered. Mari was our very first team registered in the previous year, and we drafted players from around the world on his team. And this is how it went, guys. It goes just like this. Register your team, and then in the registration, I see what team name you have, and we do the announcement. So it went exactly like this, and it was flawless. Hey guys, our next team is registered. It's Professor Maurizio Rossini, owner of My Masterman. Team My Masterman is accepting the next 5 players onto his team. We're going to draft you onto their team. And the first person that reached their hand up was this athlete by the name of Lucky Idleman out of Abuja, Nigeria, playing for Hillside Sports Academy, another basketball player out of Nigeria. He raised his hand. We drafted him onto the team, and it's something like this. With My Masterman's first pick, they select Lucky Idleman out of Abuja, Nigeria, drafted as the first player for Team My Masterman. That's what it was. Lucky went on to become our first champion.
Wow.
He won over 6,000 ringgit and is in the number one, our very first champion for the iBallin Around the World Challenge. He connected with Mari, My Masterman, to say thank you for drafting him on the team and give thanks, and also looking at some of his content. So again, that's what we're doing here. This is just my passion project, my giving back to communities, linking sponsors, community owners, leaders, together with athletes from around the world. It's just something fun. That's how we kind of met, through Alex, Mari, and then you were kind enough to host me on your show.
You were kind enough to come and accept the invite, which is one of the definitely a top interviews today, and people really loved the interaction that we had, and your answers and your stories were brilliant. So thank you so much for coming over.
I don't know if it came across on that show. I was extremely, extremely nervous. And I got to tell you, looking out to her community out here, you guys from Aga Eats KL community, you are a wonderful, wonderful community.
The best.
I was on that show, that program, and not only did you welcome me with some amazing questions, the way you had everything set up, on this part of the episode, we won't mention how it started, how it looked to me initially, but it came.
No, you
it
can.
Came, it came
He
together.
Said, no. Okay, we can. If we are addressing my community, they have all the right to know how it is.
They should
behind
know.
the scenes.
They
he
should
said
know
that it was such a chaos, that I'm such a chaotic process person, that he had no idea how it's gonna come out. And yeah, it is true. But thank you so much, guys, for the support and sticking through those interviews. And I'm glad that the chaos doesn't translate to the final product.
Oh my God. It's I think that she had on a dress and there were cables flying around and she's hopping over cables. She's playing with paper. And in my mind, and again, guys, remember, this is the first time I'm physically meeting her on the set. We did have a brief conversation at an event we were a part of, and I invited you. And it was a wonderful time for you to get to meet my wife and some of our community. It was wonderful, and that energy is so positive. It's so electrifying. Hey guys, she is exactly like she is on camera when I see her off camera. So we're gonna get into that just as well. So it was the first time I met you. Energetic, charismatic, and the second time, all of that with all this chaos happening. And I was saying to myself, I even asked you because I watched your content beforehand, and I just love how you set everything up in your interviews. It's, guys, I'm telling you, you have to get out there to see her. In fact, I'm gonna cue the clip, one clip right here. Put it right here, guys. We're gonna cut to that, and I want you to see that piece. Because it was such a beautiful interview, I'm going to keep cutting to that throughout this whole segment. But look at how well she crafted this question right here. And now the question is being raised. And she taught me this before. I didn't know we could do this before, but the question is going on. Okay. Now, guys, you see how well she crafted that message up right there? These are things I learned from her because there's something that happens in the background that you don't get to see. You just see the final product. It's amazing. Again, take a look at this clip right here. This is just another one. And now the clip has been going on. And so things are happening.
You're gonna put out.
Yes. Oh, now, guys, you see that? She crafted that message up just as well, and it came up beautifully. Before I get to my questions, Agatha, I want to just do one circle back to a question that you asked me on your show. I was so nervous I didn't answer it properly, and it was this question. Put it here. Put this question. Cue that video right here. Okay, Agatha, you asked me one question. You asked me so many fantastic questions, but you asked me one specific question. You said, after being here for so long, 17 years, what's the one thing that you can't live without from being here in Malaysia that you experience? And I said something. You saw what I said in the interview, but when Claire saw it, she says, "Darling, she was setting you up for the question, for the one question that all expats have being over here, the one question that we all can't live without after being here, which is, a bidet." A bidet. Listen, America, Westerners, people not from here in Southeast Asia. And so this is where I say I don't take anything for granted. Except I took that for granted because, listen, Malaysia, you have so many beautiful things to offer. Whatever I chose at that segment was the thing. But damn it, you cannot take away my bidet.
There is no turning back once you experience that, for sure.
Yeah.
I think you also were giving more deeper answers, right? Which, it makes sense that you omitted those daily parts of the routine because your stories were more rooted in like the bigger shifts and the more fundamental things. So
I will always be a diplomat at heart. And I chose this industry, this content creation to help me kind of break away from that and move away from that part of my life. Not take away from it, just pivot to do some other things. And so because I have a brand, you have a brand, and we're very conscious of trying to protect that brand. But I can protect the brand and share who I am at the same time. So it's not too bad. I want to get to a couple of these questions here, if we can. Let me put my spectacles on, and
I don't have mine. I have no idea what is written there. I should have, I could have
let me clean this up a
prepared.
little bit. Yeah, let's bring Agatha on the camera, and Agatha, just let me know what you think about this podcast so far.
Well, I enjoy it. As I mentioned, it's a very professional setup, so makes me feel like this is like a very serious conversation. But then I know you from behind the scenes, and I know you're super friendly and casual, and our energy just flows. And this setup feels like, we are having like a very proper interview.
Yes,
but I love it.
Yes, and so what I've learned in watching you do your podcast. I was under the impression I'm going to create this platform here where it is going to be a deep conversation to have with people, but then watching you do yours on site, on location, it can be friendly, energetic, and still have that same punch. So I've decided that I'm going to try to do the best of both worlds, and where and when able, do two sites. But never mind. We're getting off track. Let me ask you some questions here because I think that my people want to know, and also Aga Eats KL audience. I mean, she's asking all the questions, so you might want to know these answers just as well. So I'm doing this for you just as much as I am doing it for my audience and everyone else. So let's start from way back in the beginning. I remember you mentioned that you had a recent conversation with your mom in Poland. Where in Poland did you grow up, and kind of what shaped your worldview?
Okay, I grew up in the central Poland. It's not a very big city, not a very small city, but not the major cosmopolitan environment. I think what shaped me, I'm not going to mention the city because no one was going to know, but what shaped my environment, I mean, well, that's a loaded question, but I think it definitely comes to being very grateful to my parents, being super open-minded, and being super encouraging and empowering to chase your own dreams. And I remember the first thing growing up, I always felt that I might be pressured to become an engineer because everyone in my family is an engineer.
Really? Okay.
I'm the only one not. And I remember I was thinking, as you know, you're making those decisions.
Some pressure.
Do I need to follow that path? And it was never kind of coming top down, but I was thinking like that could be a natural. They're all, within the same industry. Maybe that would be the same expectation. And it was zero when I confronted that. And I was like, can I do whatever I want? It's like, yeah, you follow your dreams. And I remember, and those were probably those nuances in the environmental elements that my parents created that really encouraged me to look for what I want in life and do what I want in life, even though I was shifting my mind a million times. So as growing up, and I still till today think that we are forced to choose the path of life very early on. Like when you are 16, 17, you already need to make those, decisions. What courses are you taking that will determine what you're going to study, and that essentially going to determine your career and your job and your life. So I was going through a lot of like chaos, which probably translates to even my production side. Yes. And I remember my parents were like going along. It's like, okay, so if you feel like this, we need to prepare for, super supportive. We need to prepare you for this. Those are the courses you need to take. Those are the languages you need to learn. A few months later, I was like, no, I changed my mind. I actually want to do something else in my life. Okay, what do we need to adjust? What do we need to do? Do we need to call anyone to connect you to, learn and get some insights? So I think that I will always credit anything in my personality to my parents being extremely supportive, extremely. I don't know where do they have a trust, from where do they take the trust in me? And that's encouragement with whatever I do, and they're always behind my decision, my ideas.
Wow.
That I think that's what shaped that adventurous side to me, because when I think of what was shaping me, it's definitely I'm probably more of that person going with the flow and not being very afraid of changes and doing some unusual things. So definitely, yeah, my parents' environment. And that goes even beyond my parents. My grandma, was absolute icon, like very, very strong woman. And she was like very successful woman, one of the first in Poland having the Cellcom. Even, like my uncles and in the environment, people that were running business didn't have a Cellcom, and my grandma already did, like one of the, first 100 numbers in Poland. So she was super pioneer, and she was always like pushing me whenever I had like some dilemma, like should I take that move? Should I go abroad? Should I take that job? She was like, yeah. You have to.
Wow.
Like if the opportunity comes, you do it. You don't look back. Like you have to go for it. So yeah, very always grateful for my parents' trust in me, the encouragement, empowerment, that building that confidence in me.
Excellent. And your parents, are they still with us? Your grandparents, your mother and father, are they still alive?
My grandma, my both grandmas, unfortunately not, but my parents, yes.
And what's mom and dad's name?
Gosia and Mirek.
Hey, so real quick, I'm gonna give a quick shout out to Goshak and Mirak. Gosha
and Mirek.
Gosha and Mirak.
Mirek, yeah.
Mirak, you've done an amazing job with your daughter here. So just shout out to you guys. Hats off to you. Wonderful job. So
very kind of you. Thank you.
Very supportive families, not just mom and dad, but even the whole generation of grandparents supported them also. What happened, and how did Malaysia get on your radar? How did Malaysia first appear on your radar?
Well, I was already living in Thailand, so that was one of those stories that, my parents just put a whole faith in me. So I was working in Poland in the operations side of investment banking, and I thought that it's going to be my career. But I didn't feel very happy, and I felt like the routine was suffocating me in Poland, like already corporate job with the autumn most of the year and that weather. So it just never really sit in me. So I wanted an adventure. So I got a job in Thailand, in Bangkok. And that's where, including my grandma.
In the banking industry.
No, completely different industry.
Okay.
I was in the executive search, had nothing to do with my any experience.
Okay.
The company wasn't even like a global company. So it was a lot of like risk involved, and it was more than 11 years ago.
Wow, okay.
So that was, a little bit scary moment for my family. Like, are you sure? Is it safe? Are you really going to go for the first time to Asia? We don't know who are those people that are hiring you and so on.
Yeah. I'm sorry. So is there a nickname that your parents gives you? What do they call you? Agata?
Agata, yeah.
Aga. So at that time, like, Aga, listen, we were supportive of you. We want you to go live those dreams, but Thailand? I mean, what do you know about this? It's interesting.
So I think it's not the first time that I already had some adventurous ideas, so they probably were already prepared for it.
Yeah.
So as I mentioned, they always encouraged me. They obviously were worried, but they also felt that maybe I would just go for an adventure for a year and come back. And I remember even in the bank that I was living, they were like, when you come back, maybe in a few months, just call us. Because everyone thought that I'm just gonna go, have this crazy adventure, experience Asia, Southeast Asia, and come back running to Poland. And I myself had no idea. But again, I always go with the flow. I really didn't have plan, like, am I gonna be in Thailand for a year, 3 or what? I just knew that I'm gonna take a first step and then figure out from there. So that's how I ended up in Southeast Asia. But I was Bangkok, and I was working there, and I met a Malaysian gentleman that we started doing a startup together. Okay. And he is Malaysian. So we started exploring different markets, started doing this business in Thailand, but it was a bit tricky because of the language barrier, because we both didn't really have connections and didn't really know how the market works. So he suggested maybe we should explore Malaysia. It's English speaking, it's very savvy, and tech was booming there. It was like 2014, 2015. I don't know if you're familiar with our organization, like Magic has been founded.
I don't know this Magic.
There was a government agency supporting this whole startup ecosystem, innovations in Malaysia. There were a lot of programs programs. So we're like, okay, this is the environment that would help us with adventure. So we moved to Malaysia, and at the beginning, I also had no idea where it's gonna take me. But yeah, that was the beginning of my Malaysian journey. When I was moving from Poland to Thailand, I definitely didn't explore anything else outside of Thailand, but not because I didn't want to, but because I didn't think multiple steps ahead. I was just, Bangkok for now, it is.
Ah, nice. And so my research team did a little bit digging up on you, and they said that correct wherever they are. Correct me where they're wrong. They said you're here in Malaysia now for 7 years, and also you once described yourself as being semi-Malaysianized. So first off, tell us what you mean by that. And I got to tell you, after knowing you for a little while, I haven't known you for very long, I think we can take that semi out because you are Malaysianized.
I like that. I just don't want to be too bold and step out of my boundaries because I am still obviously foreigner, but I definitely feel, and also like my Polish friends and family, they obviously feel like, I've already adapted a lot of things that are foreign for them. So they know it must be a Malaysian way of living, way of thinking. And definitely I always say, if anything, perut saya Malaysian sudah. So my stomach already very Malaysianized for sure.
But I'm sorry. For those of us who've been here forever and our Bahasa is still terrible, what does that mean?
Perut saya Malaysian. My stomach Malaysianized, like Malaysian.
Oh, your stomach. Okay, yeah.
Perut, stomach.
Perut
Is stomach. Saya, my.
Perut saya. Perut
saya. Malaysian.
Oh, my stomach is Malaysian already. Yeah, because as a foodie, it has to be. So I'm sorry, guys. My stomach is also too Malaysian. What she said.
And I don't even know if this is correct in Malay, but when I say it, I feel people understand, so I hope so. But yeah, correction, I've been here a bit longer than 7 years.
Okay.
Probably it's getting around 10 plus. But yeah, I did describe that myself semi-Malaysianized, and I still do because, there are way of thinking that I definitely already absorbed from being in Malaysia. So I think I'm, not definitely very Polish anymore, and I'm definitely, not fully Malaysian because I didn't grow up here. So I consider myself some hybrid.
Yeah, there's so for most of us expats living over here, I think that a lot of us have. For those of us who embrace the Malaysian culture, we all feel that way. We never go so far as to say that we are Malaysianized. We are Malaysianized as much as the Malaysians will allow us to be.
Absolutely.
But to embrace a lot of their culture, I mean, it's wonderful. It's really a wonderful thing. I see this next question, Aga, on here is, I think they would have gotten this from a question that I remember you asking me, and I'm going to give you two parts. Was there a moment when you felt like, this is home? Remember you asked me that question. But when was the time you felt like Malaysia is it for you? Excuse me. But then also, I want to talk about Aga Eats KL. How did that come about? What was the origin behind that?
All right, one by one. When I felt, I love when my questions come back to me. Never really thought about them, though I should have. But I do remember that moment because I remember it confused me a little bit. The moment that I felt like Malaysia is a home for me was actually when I wasn't in Malaysia. I was back in Poland.
Yes.
And I remember it was quite uncomfortable feeling because I was with my family, with my friends, in my home. Everything felt familiar back at home. But I was just missing so much my things in Malaysia. The moment I opened the balcony, that, this very humid air and the heat of Malaysia. And that specific, the air that you can't describe as an air, right? But it has that, I don't know, specific density to it. That is just the
so
moment
thick.
when you leave the moment when you leave the airport, right? And hits you, you're like, I'm home. And I remember this was, that day that really confused me, because there was the moment that I realized, like, I miss Malaysia. I miss that air, and I miss my cafe, and I miss those people. And throughout that trip, it was like number of years ago. And through that day, I started noticing, because it was such an unfamiliar feeling, because I always felt like Poland is home. I'm going back home. I'm going to visit my home. And this is my place, right? Poland is my place. And Malaysia, it's my second home. And then I remember, during that day, I went to the shop, and then people were like, not nice. You know, like how Poland is very tense, Slavic culture, right? And I'm gonna smile to you, and I was like, one of those people that are just like smiling everywhere. And then I was queuing in the line, right, in the shop, and then in Poland, everyone was like sighing, like trying to rush. And I was like, oh, I missed. In Malaysia, everyone is just so calm, and you're gonna probably turn around, someone will smile to you. Maybe you turn on the other side, someone will start the chat with you. And this was the moment what confused me, like, where is my home? Where do I actually feel? And then when I came back to Malaysia from that trip, and I remember I almost cried in taxi, the moment like when you go back from the airport home, and I started noticing all the things that I recognize when you get to the city, the buildings. I started crying, feeling like I'm so happy to be back home. And I don't want it to come across wrongly that I absolutely love Poland and it is my home.
Of course, yes.
But I think this was the moment when I realized that Poland is not my sole home and the only home and the only place that I feel like at home, that Malaysia already took some of that space.
Yes.
And when there are, you know, things that I just like maybe a little bit more here, but there are, you know, blend of as we mentioned, right, hybrids. You're gonna have feel at home in certain things in your original home, certain things just gonna feel home. In Malaysia for me, because also I always explain it, especially to my Polish friends, that I don't want to offend anyone, that I'm betraying my culture, or my home, and my place. As an adult, like I moved here when I was 20 plus, right? Like, I started my career in Poland, but it was friction comparing to all the years that I've worked already in Malaysia. So I, as an adult, I've been formed in Malaysia, in this environment. So I actually, you know, Malaysia is the contributor of who I am as a 20 plus to 30 plus now person, right? So it has to be the contributor to my home.
Yeah, no, like you say, so you can rest assured that Poland created you to go out and explore and see the world, what you're doing. I can relate to some of the things that you mentioned in terms of the air here in Malaysia. When you were saying that, and I was trying to describe it so that the folks out there at home can understand what it's like. And what it came to me was like the climate here in Malaysia, that humid, that hot sticky air, it's like another layer of clothing that wraps around you, and it goes with you wherever you go. It is there, and when it's not there, then you can recognize it. So one of the moments for me when I realized that I miss Malaysia, and how when I thought that Malaysia is where I belong, very similar to your story, where I was having a conversation with an old friend of mine from back at home. I'm from Joliet, Illinois. We were down in Atlanta, Georgia. Both of us are from Joliet. And I was telling him, it just came out of my mouth that, oh man, I miss home. And he started describing some things from Joliet. And I went, oh my God, that's not that home. That's not what I meant. And so right then is where I knew that Malaysia, you had my soul. Yeah. You had my soul. So let's go ahead and answer the question about the
Aga Eats.
Aga Eats. How did that come about?
Well, so I've worked in the advertising creative agency, and I've worked very closely with TikTok. So I basically became like a big ambassador of TikTok, talking to everyone about how amazing it is. Because for me, in my mind, and I've always been in the marketing space, apart from my Polish banking experience, I've always been in that more creative marketing space. And before TikTok, always the space of communicating and getting your message across was only limited to already being a celebrity, already being an established outlet. As a person, just a regular person, you couldn't create your message to be heard in front of a lot of people. So I remember TikTok really amazed me with this possibility. So I was, creating strategies and pitching it to the brands. But then I was feeling a little bit hypocritical because I was raving about TikTok so much, but yet myself, I've never really tried it. So I've never really played with it. I only knew it from, metrics perspective and possibility perspective and case study perspective, but I've never tried it myself. So at some point I felt like, you know what, like I feel I already know the platform quite well. It excites me that creative a part of it and a little bit of putting your self there, just trying something different and trying something new. That's how I felt like, okay, let me try. And for me, like food was no brainer because I was already a big foodie and I was already within the environment of my friends, local and non-local, known as okay, you really know Malaysian food. And I knew that is a little bit of my USP, especially among my foreign friends. Like I would know so much more about local food than anyone else.
You said USP. What is USP?
Unique selling point.
Yeah, and that is, and so I was asking that question because I thought that my team told me somewhere before. I think you might have mentioned it just as well. You were in the marketing space before as a marketer, and were you doing that marketing before you joined the TikTok group?
Yeah.
No,
so I wasn't working for TikTok. I was working with TikTok.
So that's what I mean. So you were already in the marketing space when you came to work with TikTok.
Yes.
Let me ask you this question. When did you realize your content was resonating with people? And also a two-parter. So as content creators, I mean, you're very humbled. I'm very humbled. And we don't take for granted all the love and support we get from our audience.
Absolutely.
But you do understand. I mean, you must understand that what you're doing, it is resonating with people. You get some tremendous love and support from your community. And so what was a moment that you said to yourself, "Oh my God, I think that people might like this"?
Well, thank you so much for saying that, and absolutely agree with you. I mean, you never can take it for granted, and every single time I get a positive comment, it's not like it's nothing that you can get used to. That you are, it doesn't make an impact and it doesn't bring you smile. And I love that, and I'm super grateful for it. And I think this is also very unique for Malaysia, being so supportive and so encouraging. And I love that absolutely and very grateful for it. Well, we would need to split it to two parts, right? Because now when we met, I'm doing the interviews, which was kind of a shift. Before, even probably half a year ago, I wasn't really doing interviews. Sporadically, I would, but it would be just more like a lifestyle content and never on YouTube. So before, I was really makan orientated.
Yes.
So I would be doing a lot of food. And well, I never really look at a particular moment that it resonates. Obviously, you can pinpoint it on the videos getting more traction, right?
Sure.
And when they start.
Yeah, but that's different. I mean, every video is going to capture something different.
Correct, and also some will work, some will not work. I think, I don't know, I just enjoyed this process from the very beginning. Obviously, minus the whole cringe moment when you are like, am I really doing it? Will people judge me? What if the people I know will come across it before I get any likes? This is so embarrassing. But then I knew that even behind the scenes, right? So I don't know if my answer is going to be too complex. I'm just speaking how my mind works. But I remember I wasn't really thinking that, okay, I will do food. Let's see how it resonates. Well, it will resonate because I already knew behind the scenes whenever I talk about food, I'm passionate. Yes. And then everyone is interested that I'm talking about the food or exploring the food from both Malaysian and other expats or foreigners community because I just loved it so much, right? So I never felt like, okay, let's see if it's going to work. If not, maybe I will come up with something else. I just rolled with it. And luckily enough, at some point, the video started getting traction, which gave you kind of the feedback, okay, you might be doing something right. Obviously, there is a lot of improvements, keep going and keep doing it. And it was very surrounded by food. When I came across the interviews, I was doing sometimes a snippet of interviews, and I really, really enjoyed it.
Okay.
And I really loved hearing other perspective of other people. And then I caught myself that every time I talk to like other foreigners, we would spend majority of the time talking about Malaysia.
Right.
And like,
it's easy to do, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And then majority of the people I meet, they're like as passionate as I am. So then we can't stop talking. And then it's like, and Malaysians are doing this. Oh, wow. And Malaysians are like this and that. So then I felt like, okay, this could be actually interesting to bring in front of the camera. And maybe, there are a broader market that would be interested in that. But I've never had like a moment that I felt like, okay, this is a confirmation that I'm doing it right.
Okay, yeah, great. That's great. Agatha, let's have a conversation with, just real quick on this particular note, with the greater audience. And let's discuss, if you could give someone some advice, a content creator some advice on what's the one, we'll keep it kind of brief. What's the one thing we should do in order to get started and to kind of keep going? What keeps you going in this space? I just gotten started, and I'm not sure if I'm good or not. I know that I am trying, but some people get started and they're having a tough time and not sure if they should continue. They're not getting certain responses. So how do you tackle that for these guys out here?
Well, if you get started, that's already a good step, because I feel, and I have a lot of friends that want to start, but they are not taking this first step.
Getting started.
Yeah.
I tell people every time, listen, I don't care where you're, I don't care how nervous you are, just start, just post.
Just do it.
Do something.
Yeah, correct.
I'm good at that. I posted, but now what?
Well, keep going, right? So I know from my observations and also the industry that I've been in, also from the professional angle, I've noticed two patterns, right? One bucket is the people that just never start. They might have a good idea, but they're just afraid or not sure how to take it, or afraid of this cringe mountain, how they call it, like
cringe mountain. Sure.
Like you, before you get any traction, you feel like being judged and making fool out of yourself, right? But if you already take that step, that's fantastic. But the second bucket I see that people are doing when they don't see that reciprocation, they give up very quickly before they hit that any traction or any momentum. Because obviously as a human being, if you don't see this working, you kind of doubting yourself as well. Maybe I'm not made for it. Maybe this is just not a good idea. Maybe this is not the right timing. And I would always advise just stick with it, but have an open mind to maybe tweak certain
pivot,
formats, ideas, play with it and learn from it. And I think because of the social media, either way, it's such fast-paced, evolving space.
Oh, so fast.
You're gonna keep changing. So it's better that you get started with that mindset that you're gonna be shifting left and right. That will probably take you far. So it's like really the commitment and really thinking. I think this is maybe a bit tougher to explain, but really thinking of who do you do it for, right? So there's, again, maybe it's generalization because you sometimes just do content for yourself and you just want it to be your journal, and it happens to be reaching broader audience, and that's fantastic. But sometimes if you want to make it a success, not from the perspective of, I want to get it famous or I want to make it work, but you want your work, and it's time consuming, right? And it takes time. So obviously you want it to reach to people. So I think you need to think, who do you really talk to? So it comes back to the principle of marketing, right? Like, what's your customer or what's your audience, and what are they really interested in? And then try to position it from the perspective that could interest them. Like, think of their pain points or what they are searching in this topic that you want to cover, and then cater to that. I think there are obviously some natures of content that are mass market that would go and be relevant for everyone, but a lot of those won't be, right? So like, let's say when we do the interview, when I interview a foreigner, I know Malaysians will be interested. So I need to craft the questions that would be interested for Malaysians.
Okay,
And like, I'm not going to do them to please Polish and Malaysian and maybe your audience in the US. I'm talking to my audience. I'm thinking, what would Malaysians want to know about you?
That's where those questions came from.
Yeah. So, but if I maybe interview, I mean, now I obviously focus on my Malaysian audience and on my Malaysian community. But if I would like to do the interview in Poland, I'm not going to ask the same questions, right? I would think like what Polish people would be interested to know about Malaysia or about Malaysian or about the former diplomat, right? Like those are very, very different questions. And I think sometimes from my observations, people don't think about it too much. They think about what they want to put, but a little all over the place. Sometimes it can work, but as a marketing advice to it would be focus on who do you want this message or this content to reach.
Well, let me craft this one question specifically to target your Polish audience. You have currently Aga Eats KL is a primary Malaysian audience, but let's go for the Polish audience just for about 3 minutes and let them know in your camera what Mr. DIY is and where is it from? In your I think it's in your hometown or nearby somewhere in your hometown.
Yeah, it's growing.
Tell that story.
Yeah, I mean, it was a funny story because my parents, I had no idea. So obviously, I mean, in Malaysian market, everyone knows Mr. DIY. And I think there is a lot of competition in the Polish market. I think there is Leroy Merlin. I think this is a bit bigger. But yeah, my Polish friends would know a lot of those shops with the appliances, with the things to fix your home, basically anything you probably will need, from scissors to tape to napkins to plates and so on. It's in that shop. I actually don't know the proper name as a category for those shops. Home appliances?
Do it yourself?
Do it yourself
stores?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, DIYs. I mean, it's do it
No,
yourself.
I know, but I didn't know as the category.
Even in the U.S., we call them
Castorama.
We call them DIY stores.
Okay.
But we also have the big box stores that have the name and the brands. But
okay. So I don't know what's the Polish name for it. It's definitely not DIY because my parents would know how to tell me that. So I remember my parents called me. Okay, sorry, backtracking. So in Malaysia, this Mr. DIY, it's a shop that everyone would know. Like anything that you can't order online or you need straight away, you will go to Mr. DIY. And it's everywhere, in every single shopping mall across the country. So I remember one time my parents are getting very excited and calling me. It's like, there is this one big shop that is opening in Poland and there are newspapers talking about it. And I was like, okay, what could be this shop? Like, surely if it's Malaysian and it's making a fame around Poland, it must be food, right? Mm-hmm. And then my parents like, yeah, it's MR Kropka, because they didn't know how to pronounce the Mr. DIY. Like it's not native or it's not intuitive for Polish people, my parents' generation, or not fluently speaking English to pronounce it. And it's like MR. And I was like, what is this shop? And I was like, yeah, just send me the article maybe. And then I'm looking and it's Mr. DIY
in Poland.
And then it's already, so I Googled and it's already so many videos. People are reviewing it, praising it, comparing it to those competitors. And a lot of vlogs in Polish. Then I go on the website of this Mr. DIY. It's all in Polish, which is such a weird situation for me because I never thought of plugging this shop into the Polish environment, Polish language. And I think when I checked it, it was around the Easter time. So this Mr. DIY banners were all with the bunnies and the eggs. Nice. And I was like, this is just so bizarre. Okay, but yeah, really cool. Well done, Mr. DIY.
Yeah, very cool. DIY in Poland. Agatha, so we'll button up in terms of we'll put a button on this segment where we're explaining to the audience about things that kind of you've gotten started, how to get started in content creating and podcasting, how to keep going. But there is one thing that we all have in common that we have in the back of our mind, that fear of making a mistake or failing. Is there one thing that you've done in your setup that you failed at that might be kind of funny or something you want to share? Let me see how I crafted this question. Any behind the scenes chaos or funny fails or falls while shooting?
Well, definitely there were some fails, and definitely
None that are painful to recreate. Some funny ones, because I have a number of. I'll give you an example. I went up to record a basketball event up in Kedah, and the Basketball Association president and also dignitary leaders up there. It was the first time I was working with the Rode cameras, wireless microphones. So the night before I tested, that morning I tested nicely, but then when I went to do the interview, the whole interview, I was at one of my first interviews. I was asking some amazing questions. I was very proud of myself, but then it didn't record.
ouch.
And recently, some of you guys know that for Merdeka Eve, I was out with the people in the street, and I was doing the man on the street interviews, and I had a very energetic, very charismatic, very organic conversation with the local Malaysians off to a spot that only Malaysians know about to watch the fireworks. It was beautiful. And then I looked at my phone. It was like 5 minutes of conversation, interview after interview after interview. Wonderful. I realized I didn't record.
Any of it.
I didn't hit record none of it. I didn't hit record any of it. And they're all, so that's that sort of thing. Now, I've learned in this field that I'm going to make mistakes. Every time I'm going to make mistakes. I cannot let that get me down. I have to laugh at it. It's frustrating, but I learned to take that frustration and turn it into a positive. So, that's just part of it. So
No,
anything
absolutely.
like that?
And I think, it doesn't matter. And I remember I spoke about it with some content creators that are doing it for a long time as well. And it just keeps happening, especially when you do it by yourself. Like you've seen the chaotic process, like when on my side, when you have to think of so many things yourself. You also don't want the guest to make uncomfortable and keep checking, is it recording, isn't this, is it that? You are like so puzzled that mistake can happen. And I had this one. And I can tell you now, I was really, really, really stressed. And it was recently when I was interviewing Reese. So he's like a very big known Mat Saleh in Malaysia, a British guy speaking fluent Malay, and
very good,
such a great guy. And I was so excited to interview him, and I know like Malaysians love him so much.
That was a great interview.
Wait, the mic didn't work.
Oh.
So when I go back home, and like I know he's a proper content creator with the agency, with a proper production.
Okay.
So I was so stressed, looking like an amateurish in front of him, that I just like plugged in, test, works. We sit down, we have the whole conversation. I go back home, and there's like and I was like, no, I just can't believe. And I just had a very new mic. So I think maybe just something wasn't plugged in correctly. And I was crying. And I was like, what am I going to do? Like, I'm not going to ask him again to come back and do it. Yeah, because it's a disrespect to this person's time, right? Yes. One is that if I drop it completely, I just wasted his time. If I don't do the justice, I literally disrespected him. And his quality of the answers not gonna be portrayed in the same level, because now the sound will be bad. So I remember the same, like I canceled I had like a following meeting. I was so stressed that I couldn't focus on anything. I canceled the meeting. I just like sat down and was digging in with the AI, with the different programs. Luckily, iPhone really is not too bad with like the phone, like the phone mic or like a recorder. It was obviously you could hear the sounds, but luckily with like all the different programs and smoothing it up, I literally spent probably like a day just to trying to rescue the sound. And then when I posted it, because I've watched it so many times that I wasn't sure if you can hear it or not, if the sound is bad or not. But I've spent so much time, and obviously you could understand what he's saying. So I was like, okay, we publish it. And then I remember I was so glued to the comments, and I was like, if someone will say like, what's up with the sound, what's up with the sound? And there is comment, and I was commenting, and I was like, did I rescue it? Did I rescue it? And then I told Reese, I was like, Reese, I posted it, and I know the sound is not perfect, and I'm really sorry about that. And then he was like, yeah, don't worry, I know it happens, but yeah, hopefully if people enjoy the conversation and that helps it and all of that. And I was like, yeah, thank you so much. So obviously those things happen, not pleasant surprise when you find out. But I think, yes, it's like, like a Zoom, right? I always laugh when I have calls nowadays. After pandemic, when everyone had Zooms on a daily basis, like 7 calls out of 10, till today, it's going to be some problem. Someone is muted, some slides are not sharing. Even though we are, like, it's our reality now, still going to be some issue. It's just the technology, right? We are not made for virtual 100% full on.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm glad you shared that, because even in the studio, I have really professional equipment, but I'm still learning, and I don't know how to maximize it fully. And I've had it was a long road to get to this stage. So many failures after failures. So I implemented some fail safes. I learned some fail safes. So hopefully we won't have issues like that today.
Touch wood.
My intern is on the production in the video control room. He's making sure we are recording in all areas, backing some things up. So we should be okay. We still have a little bit of time because, but I do want to make sure that I get in one of the things that's most near and dear to me. We have a segment on my show called "What Was Your But I Did Moment," and we had an interesting thing that we did on your show that we said we're going to pause it and just announce it on this platform, on this show here. So I think it's fitting. So I'm going to just do something just very briefly here. I'm going to ask you for what was your "but I did" moment. But while you're responding, I don't want you to think I'm not listening. I got to do some work to set up a surprise for the next round of what we're doing. And so I'll do that right now. But anyway, guys, on our show, we do this segment called "What Was Your But I Did" moment. And that's a moment where you told yourself you would never do something, you never try something because you were nervous, you were timid, you were scared for whatever reason. You didn't do it. But then you tried it for the first time and it changed your life. It became you. Those are "but I did" moments. And so it's inspired by a poem with the same title, "But I Did." And again, most of you guys know this, but if this is your first time tuning in, ask yourself, what was that thing that you've done? That thing that you said you would never try, you would never do it, and then you ended up doing it, trying it, and you loving it. That's a "but I did" moment. And the poem is inspired by a poem with the same title. And the poem goes, "But I did. I know I said that I never would. But then I thought that I never could. But I did." By Ray N., published in 1979. And we'll talk about the artist and the poet who published that poem in a minute. But Agatha, when I introduced that to you, tell my audience how you came to know about that poem. Did you bring something with you today?
I did bring the book, but then I saw it here.
So. Is that your book?
No, because then I saw it here, so I totally are using this. I can bring mine.
Wait, you have yours?
Yes.
Yes, we'll bring yours. So I want you to just to introduce to my audience, introduce to my audience how you come to know about this book and what's the significance of it. I'm not sure my intern, I think he shifted the camera like he couldn't be on the camera, and that's okay.
He's the invisible master behind the scenes.
Yes. Let's bring the camera on Agatha.
Yeah.
And I got the floor is yours.
I mean, this definitely the moment it's emotional because when you told me about it, it was during we were doing recording on my show, so you were answering the questions.
Yes.
And it's emotional because you told me about this story when your mom was battling the health issues, and few weeks after, right, you came with a fantastic news that your mom recovered, which is such a beautiful moment. By the time I was editing, by the time I published, I think after that you gave me the fantastic news. Your mom is doing well, so definitely, very emotional and fantastic moment to talk about it, because now knowing that the author of this poem, your mom, is all healthy and 100% back to the form, it adds different meaning. You gave me the book and you asked me this question, but then we felt it would be better to give it a justice and to keep the focus on my show on you and on your show on me, that we will do this poem and my answer or my take on it at your podcast. And here we come, so I'm all ready.
Yes. So this book, I always have to give credit where credit is due. This book that you guys know, some of you know this book, some of you don't, but this book here, I'm gonna put it on the screen here. I got into podcasting and on this entrepreneurship journey from a guy who runs a podcasting academy named Payman Lorenzo. So Payman Lorenzo, he published a book. Down there. His first book that he published, Payman Lorenzo, he published Leaders with the Heart, Volume 1. Mm-hmm. And he gifted this book to me when we met. He also autographed it for me just as well. And that might look familiar to you just as well. But anyway, I was reading this book on the beaches of in Trengganu, and it was magical. The sun was rising, the birds were singing out. The sun was rising. I was having my cigar and a coffee, and reading that book for the first time, and something hit me. Something struck me. A passage inside that book from one of the authors hit me like a ton of bricks, and it goes, "I am open to receive what the universe has in store for me." And just in there, I decided, oh my God, I have to be in his next book. And so from there, I never written anything before, never published anything before. That author who wrote that passage was none other than Mary Gooden, the publisher of this book, Divine Destiny. So the publisher, she had a chapter in that book. In that chapter, she had a message in there, says, I'm open to receive what the universe has in store for me. Hit me like a ton of bricks. And now I find myself in his second book with that publisher and with cover credentials, iBallin with Snow right there. So
amazing.
So that poem, but I did, near and dear to my heart, my mother is the poet and the artist of that poem. And that poem has been traveling with me for over however long it's been. And I turn to it in times of crisis, in times of despair. But I had such a fantastic time on your show. I wanted to give you something that means a lot to me, and because of my mom, and for her to hear your words, she battled cancer. She's a cancer warrior survivor twice now. And I think I mentioned to you before, last time we met, is that she recently went to the doctors, and the doctors told her when her next appointment visit should be. This was about a week ago, she told me. 2 weeks ago, she told me. And at that doctor's appointment, the doctor told her, Regina, I don't want to see you until next year.
Yeah, what a beautiful news.
Yes. So Agatha, if you would, please read that poem down through the name, but I did
with pleasure
by Ray N, published 1979, and then share with us what was your "But I Did" moment.
Absolutely. All right, the poem "But I Did." I know that I said, no, sorry, I already twisted it up with the first line.
Say it how you feel it.
Yeah,
It's okay.
maybe that was my
Yeah.
interpretation.
Yeah.
No, I will do it. I will give it. I will do the justice to it. I know I said that I never would, but then I thought that I never could, but I did. Ray N, published 1979. Well, by the way, love the poem. And once again, congratulations to your mom, Ray and Regina, for being a warrior and being able to battle anything and coming back to your full health, and wishing you all the best. Well, for me, as I mentioned, right, I've been very encouraged to take a
Yes.
leap of faith always. So I think I was usually the one that would have to be a bit stopped. It's like, are you sure you are able to do it? Are you sure you want to do it? But I think, probably the moment that in more recent years, because obviously as you age, maybe when I was younger, you also, the consequences of your doing has a lesser weight, right?
Yes.
So I was way more courageous to do whatever, and I never really thought, maybe I shouldn't, or maybe not now. I just always went for it. But recently was probably the content, right? I remember when I
yes.
did the first video, I was sitting on it for a while because I was like that cringe mountain that we were talking about.
Yes.
I was like, I don't know. And every time I looked at it, I was just cringing all over, and I was a bit embarrassed. And I was like, am I actually made for it? Will I be laughed at? And I've never really put myself out there. I've never been a person very active on my social media or LinkedIn or anything like that. I've always been a bit more private. And that went on a different spectrum, right? Now you're putting yourself out there, and you
Right.
basically eat on the camera and comment and talk, and it takes few minutes, and your face is there, your name is there. So I remember I knew inside that I want to do it, but I was just a little bit, afraid or embarrassed
Sure.
to do it.
Yes.
But then I was like, you know what? Let's do it. What's the worst that can happen? Yeah, they will laugh at me,
Exactly.
and so what? It will be a bit painful, but let's just do it. And obviously, I had a support and encouragement. So it's like, just do it. You will be good at it, and just have fun with it. So I did, and I'm super grateful. It's such a big part of my life. And obviously, I'm a tiny content creator. It's not that now my life, it's all around the content creation, but it's such a big passion and part of what I love doing. And
Yes.
honestly, if I haven't started, or I postpone it further, or maybe, I was not fully into it, I wouldn't learn so much about Malaysia, even after being so
Yeah, good
long
point.
in here. I wouldn't meet so many people that I would, I never thought I would. And obviously my community, right? So much encouragement, so much learning, so much insight, so much warmth and kindness, and the interactions. I would never take it back.
It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, and I
beautiful
love it so much. And even though I went through that cringe moments and, those
Yeah.
first videos, when
Yeah,
I
yeah.
look back at them, I was like, okay. But I'm still glad I did. And I still glad that I went through that cringe to probably some videos are still cringe, but you've built that already familiarity, what you do. And because of Malaysian audience, it's so supportive, even if it's a bit cringe.
Yes.
They give you so much support and encouragement that make you keep going. So
Well, guys, look at that. Aga does, but I did moment. She's had so many, but one she's shared with us is what many content creators also share is just actually getting started. But look, she got started. She did the work. She swallowed her pride. She swallowed her fears, and she put it out there. And while as I opened up in her introduction, saying that she's a humble guest, she's a humble individual, and she says her content does okay. I'm sure I am not going to jinx her on this, but as a content creator, she is where we all want to be. Her content gets thousands and thousands of follows. Thousands of views, hundreds, if not thousands of likes, and including, again, to Aga Eats KL community. You guys are the most fantastic community because you show up in droves for her, and not just all. It's not all the fluff. If they see something from a host or from the guest that they question, oh, you come guns blazing, and that I appreciate because when I was on your show, there was so much love and support, but there's also one or two of you that kind of came at me. And so I was happy I can have a conversation with you. And most of you came from a place of love. Some of you came from a place of that space. And again, that too is okay because if we're going to do this, we have to take the good with the bad.
Of course.
But starting off as a content creator, having that cringe moment, not sure if you're going to put it out there, and also just not liking the content that you're creating just as well. But look at you. I forget how many followers you have. You have a nice little community, but man, it's growing every day, and the love is coming out with the support that you mentioned from them. So that's a beautiful but I did moment.
Yeah, no, absolutely, because it's really life-changing, day-changing, and those moments. And as I mentioned, obviously, it's a lot of that feel good and the support and the kindness that it's spreading. But it's really a lot of learnings when you sometimes go through the contents. People really comments. People really take time to share the knowledge or correct or add on. It's not something that you learn reading books. It's really the very local, real, genuine insight that it's just such a beautiful experience that. Yeah, if I was afraid of the cringe, I would never experience this beauty and the kindness and the support and so much learning and so much warmth around.
So, guys, I tell you, I am super excited. I'm so happy that Aga is being so generous with her time.
Oh, my pleasure.
We are going on now an hour and 30 minutes or so on this podcast, on this episode. I introduced to you when I said I was going to get you on my show, and you said yes. I got so ambitious. I'm so ambitious that I had 3 different venues set up for us to do the podcast from, because you started this. Me coming out on location and seeing that, I could do a podcast not just in my studio but other places. Oh, hell yeah, we're gonna do that. And so I offered.
Are we gonna makan?
I mentioned. Wait. See, Aga Eats. It wouldn't be Aga Eats KL. First off, this is not Aga Eats KL. This is iBallin with Snow. Okay, excuse me. But yes, we're gonna eat.
Okay.
Yes, we're gonna eat.
It's the iBallin and Aga Eats KL.
Yes. But I had this whole thing planned because we are doing something here at the Oracle Podcast Studio. In fact, let me pay just a quick bill here because we have a sponsor that's putting forward all this together. Here at Oracle Travels, we're rolling out the Oracle's Big 5 KL tour. It's 5 wonderful stops in KL. The 5 stops that one must do, which is Batu Caves, Royal Slinger Pewter Factory, Tugu Negara, Istana Negara, and then, of course, the magnificent Twin Towers, all in one nice, neat little package tour. 145 ringgit only. It's amazing, amazing contest. I'm going to put some of the videos up here of some of those tours that we're doing, and I'm going to put the link down below at how you can get your own tour schedule. And we have a bonus stop for you with giving you Chinatown stop just as well, because the tour starts and it stops here. So at the end of the stop here, you get to explore Chinatown just as well. Okay, so that's the plug for the Oracle Travels KL Big 5 tour. Let's get back to this particular video with Aga Eats KL. So, Aga, I had that tour scheduled for another section for us, and then I had a makan, of course. And so you were so generous with your time, but really, I can't take you for 6 hours for the day. You gave me, what, 2 or 3 almost 3 hours. You gave me almost 3 hours. That's what you said. The time.
4. Excuse me.
11 to 12.
Okay, 3. No.
I'm happy. Listen, I said 4.
Three,
I
three,
said
three.
4,
Yeah,
but then you
okay.
said, well, I can give you another 30
3
minutes.
and
Okay.
15.
Yeah. So what I did was I've cut that Big 5 tour out because I want to get to some things here. I'm always going to forget to do this. So I'm going to wrap up the ops session with giving you the floor to tell your fans and your audience what's up next for Aga. What do you got going on? Where are you going to be at, and what new episodes you have coming? If you want anything to leak, let you guys know on this camera.
Well, actually, something quite exciting.
Also, I'm sorry. Before you do that, please let everyone know how can they reach you? How do they subscribe to you? How do they connect with you?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, step by step, what's next for me? Well, something actually is brewing, but it's a bit too early to say.
Okay.
So we'll keep updated, and obviously to my community, I will be announcing it. Something Makan involving.
Nice.
But yeah, I enjoy what I'm doing, and I'm so grateful for my community and Malaysia allowing me to do it and supporting me along the way, and also conversing with me and giving me all those learnings. And it's not just one way, me doing the content entertainment per se, but it's creating a lot of those conversations, which I value so much. And thank you so much for all those warmth that you are pouring into me. And I know there are so many people that keep coming back and remembering the details from some previous videos, or recognizing me across the platforms. Like, this is so hard to explain how it feels. So I will keep going. I will definitely keep doing it. As you see, I'm trying to play with the format, with the locations, with my guests. So I will keep doing it, because also to provide more diversity in the format and the content I do. I also want to bring back a little bit more Makan as well. I still Makan local, but now my videos are a bit more focused on the interviews, which I truly enjoy, and I love sparking those conversations. But yeah, stay tuned, stay within the evolution of the content. But yeah, my message would be really, really, really thank you so much for allowing me to do it and supporting me along the way. How to reach out? My handle is always the same, Aga Eats KL. Aga Makan KL. And it's the same on
across platforms?
Yeah, YouTube, TikTok, and Instagram.
Okay, great, thanks. And guys, listen, I got one question for you. If you had a great time on the show, on the set here today, would you recommend to some of your other content creators to come onto the show to be interviewed as my guest?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, I love the atmosphere, and I adore Snow so much, and we already bodied up behind the scenes. So I would absolutely support, endorse that invite and that collab. So absolutely, he's such a gem.
And then the last thing, final thing, Aga, is that you mentioned that you have something brewing, and I want to tell you that from everyone on behalf of Oracle, the whole Oracle program, we have Oracle travel agency, we have Oracle Traders, our logistics company. We're going to put them in the plug down here just below, just as well. Cold storage, refrigerator trucks. We have you covered. Well, we do so much. We'll talk about that at the food place.
I do think we have to actually talk.
We'll talk about this at the food place. Don't worry. But on behalf of Oracle, the whole Oracle brand and the whole iBallin brand, we're two separate entities, but we partnered together. Please, whenever you have something new you want to promote, you want to pitch, you want to get out, you have an open invite to come onto my show here to do whatever you want to do. I think I mentioned to you before, guys, if you don't know, the ops is open for rental for creators to come down and just sit down and just create your content. We'll handle everything in the background for you just as well. So come back whenever you like. It's so fantastic. We're not done. We have part 2 to get to, part 2 or part 3, depending on how you look at it. But it is what's near and dear to us, Makan action. Nothing necessarily fancy, but fantastic.
As long as it's local.
Local with the twist. I know. See, I knew you were gonna do that, which is why I changed the location.
No,
Anyway,
I'm kidding. I
know.
completely
Yes.
trust you,
Yes.
follow you, and I enjoy my time. So, just excited for the part 2. And thank you so much for having me here.
It was a wonderful time.
John, let's go.
Yes. Whatever that catchy little outro we're gonna do, it comes in now. Okay. Kill the video. I'll put that over. And let's kill the audio.